Hello, everybody, and you're all very, very welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy what happens here over the next hour or so. To find out who our first guest is, let me hand you over to our MC for the evening, the beautiful Fred Cook.
Thank you, Tommy. Well, our first guest is Susie Eddie Izzard.
Well, hello.
Good to see you.
Those boobs felt good on my chest.
Ah, well, they're good on my chest too.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you doing yourself?
I'm all right now, yeah. You're, last time we met was in...
San Francisco.
Briefly in San Francisco,
Yeah.
and you're just finishing a tour.
Yeah, and we were crossing tours,
Yeah.
weren't we?
So you're always mad for plans.
I am. I'm a crazy planner. There's a number of people, maybe the majority of people who are creative, they may not have plans. Did you have a plan? Because I'm just big on the plan thing, because it's the military part of my brain.
Is it?
It's strategy. Because, you know, I came out 40 years ago this year. So once you come out as trans, I didn't have a career at that point, and I was trying to get a career, and I just kept failing and failing. And I thought, well, there was a year of doing nothing in London, in Islington, and I just thought, oh, I may as well come out now. You know, I just thought I should do that.
What does it mean to come out as trans, or what did it mean back then?
Well, you know, come out as gay, you say I'm a man.
I know, but
lesbian. Well, it means essentially you feel that if you, as I'm a trans woman, if you're a trans man, it's the other way. You feel that how you look in the mirror and how you seem to be. It doesn't match with how you feel. I remember I was in Bangor, County Down, right, when I was a kid. So we spoke like, have I ever talked to you like this? Because me and my brother started talking like this. So we came from Aden, right, Aden. So we would have grown up with a mum from Kent and a dad from East Sussex. And so we would have been small children, mummy, daddy, this kind of thing, when I was a kid.
So Aden is in...
Aden is in Yemen. So
okay.
it's the port city in the south of Yemen. And it was one of those colony things that the British did. Anyway, it's a really tough situation for the people of Yemen for the last 10, 20 years. But we came out of that. It sounded a bit like this, and we got there, and we
From there to Northern Ireland.
To Northern Ireland. Dad said, 67, there's a revolution coming. We've got to get out of there. Where, Dad? Northern Ireland. All right, sounds good. But we got there, so we got there in 64, and nothing particularly was...
It was an ongoing...
It was an underlying
slow
thing.
choking.
You know, and Bloody Sunday was 69, so we got there 64, left in 67. But we got there sounding like this, and after about 6 months, I was going, instead of saying, Mum, you can have a glass of lemonade, it was, Mother, can I have a glass of lemonade now? This is my comedy bit of stand-up, but it just, I think the negotiations between you as mother and I as child here, lemonade would be good, a good bargaining tool. And we loved it. And if anyone looks at my autobiography, the second chapter is being in Northern Ireland. And I said to my brothers, I got these pages laid out, I said, Northern Ireland, I always got being in Northern Ireland, our time in Northern Ireland, what should I call it? And he said, call it Wonderland. For us, it was Wonderland. Mum was alive. She died 6 months after leaving. So we had a perfect time there. The troubles did not impinge upon our existence there. We were just mucking about, going to school, practicing. My spelling was all over the place, and Mum was constantly helping me with that. She was alive. She was with us, and she had cancer, and it came on, and then we went back to Wales, actually, which is just closer to her family, Mum's family, and then she died in the beginning of '68. But we just had such a good time there that it's called Wonderland, and that was to us. It's always in our hearts, Wonderland.
Can we talk about the trans thing? I know very little about it really. Would you call it a psychological thing, or is it a genetic thing?
I think it's genetics. They now say that they believe the brain is coded when you're very young. They're still trying to get to the bottom of exactly how it works. And they haven't pointed out, but I knew when I was 4 or 5, and I was in Ashford Drive in Bangor. That's where we live, 5 Ashford Drive. And we were there playing with the kids, I remember thinking I'd like to wear a dress, and then all the other boys, young boys, were going. That didn't seem a good thing. That they non-positive to the peer group that I was in. So I should consider it a negative thing. And as time went on, I got to university, and I went to see the doctor there. The universities have a health centre in the UK. Probably it must be the same in Ireland. And so, hey, first time, because I went to boarding schools after Mum died, so you had a doctor built in there. I'm not telling that guy. And so I didn't really have a doctor that I could go to.
An all-male boarding school?
It was a mixed, the first one. You have this 1 till you're 13, and that was mixed. But the numbers were, it was like a fifth girls and fourth boys, and went to the next one. That was probably the same numbers. In the sixth form, girls were there. So the numbers were all over. But I fancy women, so I still fancy women. I can sort of imagine fancying men, but it's really hard. I have to go, no, that's not going to work with me. So, but that's always stayed the same.
At which bit of a fancy a man do you draw the line?
Anything to do with sexual. I can do a big slap on the back. And I love playing in, football teams. I love football too. Yeah. But then I went just...
Kissing would be okay, perhaps.
I have done it but I played Edward II. Christopher Marlowe's Edward II. I had to do big old kisses there, but I had to just go for it and live it. But it wasn't part of I wasn't at any point going, this is pretty good. It just never... There's too much facial hair and stuff, and it's all wrong for me. but for the people who fancy men, it's fantastic, be they women or men.
Yeah.
And it really works for them. And for the people who fancy women, snogging women is the way forward.
How much did you struggle with it, and how much inquiry did you do into the feeling of wanting to dress?
Well, this is wanting to present myself in a different way. Well, I thought I'll lie on my bed and I'll do self-analysis, which was this thing I invented, which probably other people have done. I just lay on my bed and I thought, okay, curtains closed, why do I think in this way? And I couldn't come to any great conclusion, but I came to the conclusion that guilt and shame should not be part of my feelings, because society is telling me this is wrong, but it is truthfully a part of me. So let's be truthful about it and come out. And
is that confidence natural to you?
Well, it's an interesting thing, because it's the centre of my confidence. I was in French they say têtu. I've just come in from Paris, by the way, to do this, where I was doing stand-up in French yesterday, the day before. And if you're headstrong, têtu. I was quite determined, and so I felt quite a confident person. So I was going to go out, wear a dress, throw on some makeup, and say, this is me. And people would go, you fucking, what the fuck, fuck you, the fucking, and I would go, but you were the fuck, what the fuck are you, the fucking, and you go, what the fucking, what the fucking, you, what the fuck, what the fuck, that. And that would go on for about 5 to 10 minutes sometimes, just screaming in the streets. But I wouldn't stop, I wouldn't back off, or I'd fight people if they fought me.
So was going out in public then a performance?
No, it was just a nightmare. It was just a stress thing I had to do. And initially when I came out, I said, right, 6 months, just every day. Anything gets easier if you do it more and more, your confidence builds up. My stress levels were 9 out of 10. I went back and worked this out. The stress levels were so high. My stress levels now are 0 out of 10. They're the same. However, whatever clothes I wear, however I am, but they used to be so high.
Yeah. If there's a young person in their kind of early teens now watching this, or maybe someone in their 40s, but I'm
yeah, it could be any age, because some people don't come out till quite late.
What would your advice be? And it's only advice from your perspective and your experience.
Yeah, I'd say come out, because living truthfully is much better for your mental health than not living truthfully. And go to itgetsbetter.com, which is where a lot of people have put their stories out about how it was, that it was really tough, and things have got better. So that website's a great website.
What did you, when you were going to the doctor in the university, what were you asking him for?
Help.
In what way?
Well, just like I am trans, society is telling me anything you could pick up in society, jokes, negative jokes against, said this is not a good place to be. Help, what do I do? Do I take a pill? Do I think?
Take a pill as in an antidepressant or something to change the
well,
feeling?
I didn't know whether they do this thing and then say I'm not trans. Because if you fancy women, if you're growing up as a boy, young man, and you're fancying women, that seems fine and easy and very heterosexual. But then you happen to have this other feeling in you. Would be much easier if that could please go away. And then I just living my life as a lie was an absolute option. But I just thought it's going to be better for me to be honest and come out 40 years ago, and it has absolutely been so. It's been tough, but I just, at that time with the doctor though, I thought I take a pill and it all goes away. Yeah.
So did you start wearing makeup and dresses in public before you started doing it on stage?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that was way
okay.
before. So I came out when I was 23 in 1985. I didn't really go back in the closet, but I decided to not wear any dresses or makeup when I was at Covent Garden in central London doing street performing, because then they'd say, oh, that's a drag act, you're doing a drag act. I said, oh, no, well, actually, that's not quite what I'm about. It's just every day.
Yeah.
Okay, this is too confusing. So then I started doing that, and then I went into stand-up, and the stand-up started taking off. So stand-up in 88, it started taking off around 91, and then I had there was a crossroads there, and I thought, I've got to tell the press. The press was started interested, and I thought I should be honest about this, otherwise I'm going to lie for the rest of my life. And so I told the Observer, and then it was out, and then I was on stage talking about it, and so because I was bubbling up as a stand-up, and the journalists were going, so he's talking about being trans, but he's not wearing a dress, and is this a joke? Is this a weird joke? So I thought, okay, I'll throw on a dress, throw on makeup. They say, he is trans, but he looks a mess. That's what they said. It's just, the look doesn't really work. So then I had to try and get a look together that sort of suited me, and I pushed hard to do that because I realised, you look in the mirror and go, no. And also makeup, I like it. I think it's quite fun, so I've got quite good at, hopefully quite good at it.
When you started to emerge as a great stand-up, what did that feel like?
Thank you for the grades.
Well, you're one of those people in terms of stand-up who you're so iconic and you were so different, and it was so not like anything that had come before. I'm just wondering, what did that feel like for you of suddenly going, I'm different and I'm actually the best?
Oh, what, doing stand-up?
Yeah.
Best I can never go to.
But you know what I mean?
Be up there. A girlfriend of mine in my younger years, she said, do you just want fame? Is that all you want? I thought, oh, God, is that? Because that was part of what I wanted, and it could be a nice thing, but I thought, is that it? That just seems really vacuous. And then I thought about it, and I actually thought, one of the key things I want more than anything is the people whose stuff I love, if they could like my stuff, that would be fantastic. So when people, early Comedy Store gigs in London, and you couldn't tell this, but if you were out there doing things and particularly improvising and mucking about, which you're bloody expert at, and so I would always muck about, and then you could hear other comedians laughing. If the comedians went out to watch your stuff, and I thought, whoa, that's top of the line, that really is. Just other comedians watching your stuff and laughing at a certain joke where you fuck up, or you get it back after a fuck up, or whatever it is, and then people love it.
Are you aware of some of your shows being better than others, and are you able to identify why or what was going on?
I don't worry about it. Sometimes the audience is bad. I have dismissed, when I was a street performer, I dismissed, with my partner, Rob Ballard, we were double act, and I dismissed 2 audiences. I said, no, look, we're really I was at Covent Garden, I remember it very clearly, both of them. And I said, look, we're really giving it out, and you're coming back with, so you're not good enough, and you may go. And after that, it was dramatically so interesting, they thought, this is, and they wouldn't go. I said, no, honestly, go, I'm not doing any more. And the second time I did it, Rob got the audience, come on, do you want to come back? As if it was like a pantomime thing.
Yeah.
And then I was round the corner and he came up and said, they want you back. Yeah, they're screaming. I'm not coming back, they're useless. They were just, some days everyone's a bit cold, everyone's a bit miserable. Yeah. Particularly outdoor street performing. I mean, street performing, again, if you learn to street perform, it becomes a superpower because you learn to play with energy. You learn to play with no one's expecting.
It's not individual reactions, or is it?
No, it's still an audience, but trying to get the hold of it. They can walk off in the middle.
Yeah.
The one thing about us as stand-ups in a room, doing a theatrical show in a room, the people will, to leave. They'll probably leave at half time if there is a thing, if they really don't like the stuff, or if they're incensed, they might walk out. But it takes a lot of energy to leave in one of those things. But on the street, you can say, and I did that, and I did this. And they go, oh, that's quite funny. Let's all go get a coffee. And there could be 10 people. They all go and get a coffee.
Yeah.
And then your audience falls apart. It looks like the energy. You become an expert of energy. But it's stay on your feet, because then they're only going to. You're as good as your last gag. And but now it's in.
Why the Labour Party?
good turn at the left at the traffic lights. Labour Party because.
So for people who don't know,
Yes, I've been a member of the Labour Party since '95, 30 years now. I want to be a Labour Party MP. I've tried twice, 2 selections.
Yeah.
Haven't got in. We're trying to be for the many, not for the few. My dad was Labour Party, and it's, my granddad was a bus driver, the other granddad was a cow herder. So we come from, that mum was a nurse.
When you imagine yourself as a politician, what do you see?
Just me, but...
Doing what?
Trying to make things better. I can communicate. You need to be able to communicate. You need to have positive ideas. You need to be able to look at systems as well and say, this system is working, this part of the system is working, this is not working. We need to change that and put a new part on that. And I feel I can do that because I've been through so many careers. I've done so many things. I've run marathons. I've worked out how to do many things in my life. And I was a straight A mathematics person all the way up to university, so I have some skills, and then you can use your comedy against the other team. The other team think this, and that's where you do that. And everyone needs a certain amount of light relief in politics because it can get very dry. But you see, if I'm a radical and a moderate, and I do radical things with a moderate message, raising money for charity, coming out as trans 40 years ago, all these things, doing my comedy, taking Hamlet around the world tour of Hamlet now, which is a completely dramatic version of William Shakespeare's Hamlet.
One person.
But I'm playing all the characters.
Yeah.
It's a huge challenge. It's very difficult to learn, 13,500 words. But we're now touring it around the world, and it is a wonderful thing to do. And getting standing ovations in Britain as well. Getting standing ovation in Britain is a very hard thing to do. So I'm very proud of it, and I'm just going to keep doing it. But I'm just going to keep reaching out to make connections around the world. That's my thing. So being political in my life, in the soft politics power, the soft power politics that one can do, and just get ready to be an MP. And I'm ready right now, but you have to go through a selection, then you have to win a general election, and I'm very happy to keep pushing.
Do you ever regret not having kids? And there's time yet, obviously, but...
Yes, I was talking about having kids in my 50s and 40s. I was totally up for having kids. It hasn't quite worked out. I did come out as trans. That does get in the way. Not everyone's happy to have a relationship with someone who is trans. It has meant that I am free to come up with crazy plans and do them without... Because I did notice that some people who get to a great place, I do like John Lennon, but Julian was left. Where after Sean was his second son, and he was there for Sean more. But Julian was just off.
Yeah.
And that's not great for kids. You've got to... you've got...
6.
And you're there, and you go away and work, but you're very there when you come back, very present when you come back. Yeah, and a number of men and women do not do that, do they? So, who are creative, and they will let things. They will say, "Oh, I just wasn't there. Sorry, I couldn't be there." And I've created this space where I'm free to come up with unusual plans, touring in different languages. It is amazing.
It's sad. Life of the artist.
Yes, and it's sad that there aren't kids there, but maybe they would have gone. They would have just pushed back on me and saying, well, you're not there a lot of the time, and 2, we're not sure about you being trans or whatever. Hopefully they wouldn't be that. But it's just, it hasn't kind of worked out. I think we'll see.
When might we see you perform in Ireland?
I'm not sure. I think I'd like to come and do Hamlet here. Is Hamlet, I know he's English, play, right? But how can everyone get round everything?
Totally. You watch Coronation Street in EastEnders.
Right, no, yeah. I'm not being silly here, just because I'm trying to be sure-footed with my politics. Yeah, I love Ireland. When Mum died, Dad said, Mum's died, and this was 68, March 68. And he said, we'll go on a holiday in Ireland with the caravan. And so we just drove around Ireland because it was always just, it was a wonderland for us. So, and I didn't have separation north to south. I just didn't think that way. It was Ireland. Yeah. And we loved it. And I sang, I could sit in the front because I used to throw up all the time. And Mum wasn't there, so I could sit in her seat, so I didn't get so sick. And I just sang this thing. I said this in my autobiography. I sang White Horses, which was a TV show from Yugoslavia, I think. La 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 da 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 la da 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 da. It's a theme tune which you never obviously saw, but it's a very floaty, childlike song. It's talking about clouds and puffs of clouds and things, and it was me trying to escape from the reality of Mum dying. And then some people say, "Oh, Mum dying, that's why you're transgender." And I said, "No, it's not. I knew about this. I was had these feelings before Mum died. I didn't know Mum was. I knew she was ill. I didn't know she was dying. So."
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you
for coming on the show. It's always good fun talking to you.
Great talking to you.
Welcome back to the second half, everybody. Freddie, who's next?
Tommy, our next guest is Dr. Manije Khan.
Hello there. How are you?
How are you doing?
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Manije.
Yes, Manija.
Manija.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Afghanistan.
Okay.
So I'm Manija Khan, as you've already heard, and I'm a dentist from Afghanistan. Before coming to Ireland, I was a lecturer for a few years, and I was working as a dentist as well. And then for a very short period of time before Taliban arrived, I became the Dean of Dental School. And that's why I have to come to Ireland in December 2021.
You came to Ireland to escape?
Yes, yes.
How'd you get here?
So in August 2021, Taliban took over Afghanistan. And in the beginning, we all thought it's just a regime change. You know, like for people in Afghanistan, it's something very normal. We are getting regime changes every few years. So we thought that maybe this time Taliban are different, so we were kind of okay. But just in the second week, they shut down all work for Afghan women, and including myself, especially women who are in power, who are in higher positions. And they asked us to sit home just for a few months, just so they can see how it is, they can relax a bit and start the systems. So we did that for a week or two, but then we got another notice in saying that the men can come back to work, but women cannot. So I didn't listen, and I kept going back to work. And after 2-3 days, I received a threat letter, many phone calls, and asked to just either sit home or we'll harm your family, especially your husband. And they knew all the details, and you know, we thought they're people that they've just come to the country, but as it was proved, they have been living among us for many, many years. So they had all the details, especially about women who are working in a power position. So me and my family, we traveled by car from Herat to Kabul, and we hid there in a small apartment for 2 to 3 months. We had no idea what will happen to us, if any country will give us an access to come. And finally, we heard in early November, that Ireland was very kind enough to accept our application, and we were granted refugee status in Ireland.
Talk to me about the Taliban.
Yeah, hellhole of Taliban. I heard that joke, I'm just going to tell you, I'm a big fan of yours. I knew you before coming to Ireland, so today it's another big privilege. And I will be very proud of this moment that I'm sitting here talking to you face to face. You are the only celebrity in this whole face of earth that I always wanted to meet. I'm never the type of person who wanted to meet stars, you know, but you're somebody, I really love listening to comedy. And somehow I loved the comedy that you would make, but at that time I didn't know that one day I'll come to Ireland. Wow. And during the times we were stuck in that small dingy apartment in Kabul, your comedy was something that kept us going. We would keep listening to your shows from YouTube. You know, I even went back from the time when you were young, and, you know, I've listened to so many of your jokes so many times, and I've seen you grow, you know, through your shows and with age and everything, and that is so amazing. Maybe you should one day sit and watch all your shows from your youth time and...
Well, let's do a tour of Afghanistan, maybe.
Not during Taliban, I'm telling you, you won't be able to come back. So, Taliban.
Tell me about them.
And you said a joke about hellhole of Taliban about Australia. Do you remember your joke?
No, I don't, no.
You had a joke, I don't know.
If you're going to tell one of my jokes, you have to do it justice.
That is impossible. Nobody can be Tommy Tiernan, you know. You said that Australia is a country which is covered by water from all sides, and there are people waiting outside in small boats trying to come into Australia, people of Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. Now, I won't go into Sri Lanka because I know you know nothing about Sri Lanka, but you do know something about Afghanistan. And you said if people of Afghanistan who come from a country that is such a landlocked country, Taliban hellhole, that people are coming with boats on their heads and they're trying to get into Australia, the children asking, are we there yet? They should be allowed to enter. And I really love that. I knew that you understand how difficult it is to become a refugee, to wait into boats, to go through all that way. So Taliban, I've met many Talibs face to face, especially we had a big meeting with all the deans and of Herat University. And then this Talib leader came in, and he had a small young boy with him. They walk everywhere they go, have young boys with them, that they grow up these boys, and then they marry their daughters to these young boys. They train them like that. So this Talib leader comes in with a gun on his shoulder, and his young boy, that I will never ever forget that child's face with another gun in his back. And they came sat on the top of the, you know, on the table where the leader used to sit. And so everybody's turn came to speak about the progress and the rules and everything. And so my turn came, and I said, well, I'm not going to say anything because you don't understand what I say, and I won't understand what you say. So it's better I don't have anything to tell you, because there is nothing that you don't know. You know everything. You know that women should be able to come. We have 55% women in this university. And he listened to us very quietly. That is how Taliban are. Very, very intelligent. Their leaders, all of them can speak very fluent English. They're highly educated. They know what they're doing. They have been trained to be like that. Taliban follow a specific religion of their own that has nothing to do with Islam. They do say Islam, but no, they don't. In Islam, women have the highest rights in Islam, but Taliban don't understand that. Taliban are the type of people that there is no conversation with them. They already, their minds are made up. If somebody is that cruel to beat another human being with whips and don't feel bad, they don't feel anything. They have a book that is their standard of life. They follow that book. Anything outside that book, they don't believe in. They believe in that women are just made to bear children, and that's it. They don't have any place in the society. Anyone who is not a Talib is a danger to Talib. Anyone who is not a Talib is not a Muslim, is allowed to be killed. They are, you know, like how a cat plays with a mouse. That is how Taliban deal with Afghan people. Just play with them just like a cat plays with a mouse. And when they get tired of that, then they're cruel enough to just cut it down. Extremely, extremely cruel.
What's the attraction of being in the Taliban to Afghani men?
Power. Power. You see, Afghanistan has been in war for the past 40, 50 years now. Taliban came 20 years ago and they stayed for 6 years. During that 6 years, they totally destroyed Afghan culture. We are not the type of people that now the media portrays. Afghanistan has always been a very women-dominating society. We got our voting rights 20 years before France did. Afghan women have always been in power. We've always fought side by side our men. And Taliban, when they talk to young boys from a very young age, they hurt them so much that they destroy that feeling of rebellion from them. They just make them understand that they are very, very powerful if they are with them. Other than that, they're nobody. So many Afghan men who follow Taliban, it's just because of power. They feel very powerful because they have a gun, they have a whip, and the only people who actually follow Taliban are not good people. They're just either mentally ill, or the people who were raised as Talibs, as they were children, or people who are very, very scared. Many Afghan men, they don't like to be Talib, you know, but they are just scared. But the ones who are with them, it's because they just crave that power. It's a very powerful thing to be a Talib, you see.
Is it so that they're in power now?
They are, yeah.
It's a Taliban government.
It is.
Is that hopeless?
We were hopeful in the past 20 years because we thought Taliban can never come back again. You know, but now seeing them in power again, we just think it's hopeless. No one in Afghanistan has the hope that we can become a country again. Some of us are believing that maybe Afghanistan will be divided into different parts. Some of us believe that maybe after Taliban, some other terrorist group will take over Afghanistan. Some of us believe that maybe Taliban will stay forever and be that power in that part of the world just to create terror, especially when we see other countries kind of supporting Taliban. It's so, as an Afghan woman at this moment in time, I would say it is hopeless.
What's your feeling about being a refugee?
It really is a chronic pain. You lose everything you know. You lose your home, you lose your hometown, you lose your people you know, you lose all the dreams and who you are. And even the education, all the past years, if you have studied, all the achievements that you have, all of them just become nothing. You just turn into one word, and that's refugee. And sometimes that word kind of seems like it's not a good word, like as if somebody is saying, like a really bad slang, somebody's calling you a name, you know? But that word followed me for a whole year in Ireland. And then I understood, well, the best way to leave, you know, this chronic pain is to own it. So now, whoever I go, whoever I meet, wherever I go, I say with pride, yes, I'm a Nisha, I'm a refugee. And if refugees get this help the same way I did, if refugees get support, we can become a power, because I think refugees are the strongest people on the face of the earth, because we are the only people who have the ability to restart from zero. So I don't feel that pain anymore, I just feel strength.
Do you feel a connection with people who arrive and are given tents and are told to just find somewhere to pitch it?
Yes. I'm one of those very, very few lucky people who never got to see a provision center. I never got to live in a tent. But I know how it feels, because people don't care if you are cold, if you are hungry, if you have no home, if you're here for a reason, if you have a story, if you have documents. All people care is like, you are just here in a tent, destroying the beauty of the city. And
you're human garbage is what you're seen as.
Yeah.
Is there a limit to the amount of refugees that Ireland should take?
This is a very difficult question, because the world that I see now it's getting worse every day. It's like we're all, the whole world, this is how I see it, it's like we're all like a big community. We are all living in small houses of our own, but our neighbor's house is burning. If we let them come into our own house, then we don't have enough resources. Mm-hmm. If we let them burn there, then what type of humans are we? So I think that every country, including Ireland, should accept as many refugees as they can, as their resources allow, and they should try to build more resources to help people who are really in need. For example, look, if I was still in Afghanistan and I had not given a refugee status, if there was nobody who helped me, imagine me, I would be in Afghanistan, in a burqa, maybe all the windows of my house would be barred now. I was not allowed to speak, even in my own house. It's like maybe every day I will wake up and I would think, it would be really good if I had just died and finished this world. So that's why I'm saying that all the politicians of the world, they're in a place of power. One way to accept as many refugees as they can is to help the world resolve conflicts, to stand up to the bullies of the world, to tell them stop. And I'm very proud that Ireland is already doing that. I've seen it with my own eyes during Gaza and Israel conflict, and it really makes me proud that I live in Ireland now, a country where people speak for the truth. You know, another way is to understand why people are coming and what type of people are coming. Now, for example, there are so many refugees who can be workforce. Yeah. There are doctors, there are engineers, there are dentists. But look, in Ireland, Irish Dental Council was the, I don't know if I said or not, I'm a dentist by profession. Yeah. And I'm very, very fortunate enough that I'm working, me and my husband, we're both working as dentists in Ireland now. And that is because a good policy that Irish Dental Council made, and because how Irish Dental Association helped us to relocate and work as dentists. Now, that's a good policy. There are so many doctors, refugee doctors, sitting in this country. They have no hope to become a doctor, and the ones that they have good language and the ones who try to become doctors, that's a very, very long way. One thing that people don't understand, 99% of the refugees, they don't like to get social welfare. You know why? Because when you leave your country, the first thing you want to do is get back your identity. So it's good to give chance to refugees. Don't think that, don't just make judgments. You know, this is sadly, this is what media has made us think for all these years. For example, if we are walking on the road, two types of people are walking, people of a color or a person who is white. If it's a bit darker, we will always feel unsafe from the person who is person of color. It's possible that person is a really, really nice person, and maybe the white person is maybe like a terrorist. Terrorists have no face, have no color, you know? We don't need to be scared of these people.
I'm not sure it's primarily a terrorist thing. I think it's a fear of Ireland becoming a place that we don't recognise. I think that's what people are afraid of. But I think that we have to love, and the consequences of love are never bad. But look, they might be unfamiliar, but they're never bad. And I think that's the only decent path to walk.
But Tommy, look, change is a good thing. Because change is not always backward. Change is also forward. That is sure, yeah. That is a new Ireland, you know.
Who is left in Afghanistan? What members of your family are still back there?
My father is there. Many of our family members are there. My students are there, all the female students, all the amazing young women. From my own family, I'm very grateful that my mom is here, my brother is here, his wife and kids are here. We have a nephew who's born in Cork, so when you see him, you know that he's born in Cork. He's different than all the other children that we have. But sadly, there are so many left behind. You know, there's now that's another thing which you feel as a refugee. You feel guilt. You feel survival guilt. You feel that why am I here? Maybe these other people should be here as well. But you cannot bring all of them with you. You cannot even leave them behind. So you're always just hanging. You're always, you always have a chronic pain.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. It's been a pleasure talking
Thank
to
you so much for asking me to come on the show. It's really a privilege for me. It's really an honor, and I still think I'm in a dream. I'm scared that we wake up and you won't be here anymore.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back to the third half, everybody. Freddie, who's next?
Tommy, our next guest is Michael Mulcahy.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Michael, Mick.
Tá ásan down arm go bhfuil me seo caint leat bucha.
Gramila, how are you?
Great.
Where are you these days?
I'm here in front of you.
Yeah. For those people who don't know, you're an artist.
That's right.
Last time I was talking to you, were you getting ready for your boat building, I think? Were you down in Wexford or somewhere?
No, I have a small little racing dinghy. The one that they used for the Olympics, the little laser. You remember I had it out in Inisheer there?
I didn't see it that time.
Didn't you?
No.
No, it's so quick.
Yeah. How's the work going?
Thriving, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How has your art changed over the years, do you think?
Well, I think it's got better. It's got clearer, you know? I mean, as Picasso would say, painting is an old man's game. You know, the more you paint, the more you learn.
Yeah.
And then I travel a lot. Any big city I go to, it's museums, art galleries, to see what's going on. I mean, you learn from all that's gone before you, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 72 now. And I was lucky. My mother died when I was 12, right? Very sad. 3 brothers. You know, the father had a drapery shop in the garden. He valued education. So he had the money at the time, sent to Clongowes, right? Grand. And I says, you know, how to spend one's life.
Yeah.
Right. After the mother died, he brought us to Paris, you know? And then I saw an exhibition of Max Ernst, a German surrealist. And I said, Jesus, isn't that a very interesting way now to spend your life? Yeah, playing with your imagination. Yeah. I mean, most of us play with themselves, but playing with your imagination is much more interesting.
It's less embarrassing.
Yeah, less embarrassing.
But it sounds like a life of freedom.
But no.
But what does freedom cost you?
Well, for one, no, you have to dedicate. I mean, I've been in mental hospitals and prisons, right? I mean, at one stage I was running amok. I was drinking 2 bottles of Jameson a day. Yeah, so that's, yeah. You get overexcited when you be doing that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right, easy electric convulsions treatment. I mean, that's terrorism. You know, that's like internment without fucking trial. Messing with your brains. Who the fuck has the right to do that? I mean, at one stage, Ireland had the most mental hospitals in the world. I mean, electric convulsions, they strap you down to a metal bed with a sheet of rubber underneath, and then they don't know how it works. I mean, that's violation of human rights. Yeah.
What was it like after having that treatment?
You felt like a zombie, washed out for 3 or 4 years. You were just, yeah. I mean, they tried to put you on lithium and largate. You know, they want to take the creativity out of you. You know, you come out like a zombie moron. You know, you are just as if somebody had sucked the essence of your being out of you. You're just, yeah? And it took me 3 or 4 years. I went down to Helvick Head. My father had a house down there by the sea. You know, there's a lovely Guadalquivir area. And just go for long walks. And slowly I started painting again, you know.
How old are you with the treatment?
It's 25 or so, you know. I'm 72 now. I mean, it's a long time ago, but the stain is still there, you know.
Where did you go travelling?
I was in Africa for 2 years. And then I went to Papua New Guinea. And before I went there, I was interested in cannibalism. Yeah? And I says, now, a cousin of mine was a missionary, and he was telling me about these fucking cannibals. And the white fella is like caviar. Yeah? And the missionaries, they'd be soft. They weren't hard-working Connemara men.
Yeah.
So it was easy to fucking eat them, you know? To be hard now for a cannibal to eat a big fucking Connemara man or a fella from Minishir, you know? So...
It'd be too tough.
So what I had been with the Tuaregs in the Sahara, so the blue people. So they use indigo dye on their jalabas, right? And the indigo goes into the skin. But when you're wearing this indigo, you don't sweat. So you retain the body moisture, right? So I had 1 kilo of this, and I found out on the Sepik River where the essence of the cannibals were. Now I says to myself, I went into a cheap hotel, right? Big fucking bath, kilo of indigo dye, right? I was there for about 3 hours, right? It soaked into my skin. You know, if I cut myself on a bush, just blue, right? And then I went up the river and then stole a canoe, right? And put gold leaf around the area that a man has, right? And to have a little fire on the back of the canoe to keep the mosquitoes away, right? So there I am, at dawn. My whole America and I'm dumb. The silence of the river and the river vibrating with this fucking sound. And you could see all the eyes looking out. Here's the leader of a tribe. Where the fuck is the rest of them?
Yeah.
So any village I went into, I was treated like a king. You know, the best. And they have this palm wine. Yes. And it is poaching +3 or +4. And I'm a tidy dancer. And then reciting Irish poetry and making up just the sound. Museum no conic at all bought a flick. Oh yeah, you left us in a cloud. And then I do a couple of dances, you know. They fucking love that.
But how do you cultivate that lust for freedom?
Yes.
But how do you feel like an outsider?
Yeah, but in a way, but I mean, I dip in and out of society when it suits me. I have an exhibition and, oh, you're a great fella and you sell a couple of paintings here, but yes, you build your own canoe, you know, and you have to fight for that, right? I mean, I love sleeping out, military sleeping bag. I could sleep under the bushes for weeks and I wouldn't give a fuck. Yeah?
Hardy. How are you getting on with drink? Like, is it how?
Oh, I love it. Look at it. Look at it. Love it, boy.
Did you ever think of giving it up or anything like that? Or?
Oh, I did. I gave it up for 12 years. I became a boring fucking moron. I was #1 masturbator. I saw nobody.
Is there a price to be paid for drink?
Yeah, it's going up in the budget.
I mean, the toll it takes on you.
No, I mean, I'm 72. I'm fit. because I say it, yeah, of course, I mean, if you drank too much milk, Jesus, you'd have a fucking price to pay too. Everything in moderation. But sometimes moderation must be thrown to the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell it to go fuck itself. Fuck off moderation. I don't want to become a boring motherfucker. Middle of the road mediocrity is not my game.
That's not my genre.
Not my genre. No. Like you, I mean, you enjoy yourself.
I don't really.
Tommy, you could. But Tommy,
I'm very inspired by you.
No, Tommy, I have an idea for you.
Okay.
You could have a delayed midlife crisis. You could become my assistant and we travel the world creating havoc.
What's going on in the work now, do you think? The figures are, there's a
Will I show you a little picture?
Yeah, please, yeah.
These are very recent.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is that even the response that people...
No, I mean, the thing about art is to look. I mean, paint it. You look at a beautiful sunrise, right? And you look at it, and you say, that's wonderful. And then you don't say, well, the sun rises here and the moon comes up here. What's fucking on the force of gravity? Yeah. Art is about looking at the thing. And it's a window into something else. It should stop you on your tracks. And, maybe I should look at this or that.
Yeah.
I mean, people ask me, what's it about? I say, you've got to look at it with an empty mind. Yeah? And just get a feeling from it. You know.
Here, put them back in your pocket now.
Yeah.
And what is it that gets you up every day to paint?
But it's just the excitement. I mean, to have a blank canvas and to see where your mind will go. And then after a week or two, you know, I mean, I work on a couple of paintings at the same time and slowly build them up. And then the joy of going into the studio and seeing the progression. Yeah. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I mean, how many people would say, I look forward to going to work on a Monday. I'm excited and delighted. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm lucky. You know, I'm very lucky. I mean, yeah, I work hard.
Which part of it is luck?
Well, I suppose it isn't. Look, I decided at an early age I wasn't going to become a fucking civil servant or a draper's son. I'm going to plough my own field through thick and thin. Yeah. And I'm ruthless about my pen. You know, this is what I do. This is what I want to do. Yeah. Lucky is a bad word. You know, I have decided this is what I'm going to do. That's it. I don't want to do anything else. Art is like making love. It's a spontaneous thing. Yeah? It either works or it doesn't work. Right? I mean, the duty of an artist is to stimulate the imagination of other people, you know? To make them, you know, what am I doing here? Look at this, isn't this extraordinary? And to see it for what it is, you know? Art education in this country is only beginning. Right. A writer could write a book on a copybook. You know, what you need to be a writer. Yeah? Pen and paper, you know.
For a long time, the only way we could express ourselves was either through dancing,
Singing, drinking,
Yeah.
tomfoolery.
Yeah. No, painting wasn't an option.
Because you didn't have the money.
Yeah.
I mean, you think at the time of the famine, I mean, to have a vibrant visual culture, it takes money. I mean, kids need to, I mean, you look at Picasso running the RHA, you need to see the broader picture of what people are doing and what people are experimenting with, you know?
Do you have plans for the next couple of months?
There is no plan. Right, I have a vague idea, but Yeah, sure. I'm looking forward to you being my student. I think that's a good plan for you and a good plan for me.
I'm very inspired by you, Michael. I really am.
And next year, Tommy, you'll be inviting me to give a speech at your first one-man show.
I really, I mean that when I say you inspire me a lot, that just total commitment to art and play and the ruthlessness of it and the freedom of it and the generosity of it and the good things it does to you. You're a very inspiring man.
Well, thank you, Tommy. You're inspiring too. Yeah?
You know, so
Tomfoolery is the name of the game.
that's it.
Yeah? Keep them smiling, yeah? Keep them thinking.
Thanks for coming on to the show.
Pleasure, Tommy.
row your boat. Thanks, Michael. Thank you. Thank you.
That was a bit of fun.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome all the way from Vermont in the USA, Sam Amidon, performing I'm on My Journey Home from his album Salt River, which is out now.
Oh, who will come and go with me? I'm on my journey home. I'm bound for Canaan's land to see. I'm on my journey home. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me, for I'm on my journey home. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me, for I'm on my journey home. Oh, who will come and go with me? I'm on my journey home. I'm bound for Canaan's land to see. I'm on my journey home. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me, for I'm on my journey home. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me, for I'm on my journey home. Oh, who will come and go with me? I'm on my journey home. I'm bound for Canaan's land to see. I'm on my journey home. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me, for I'm on my journey home. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me. Oh, come and go with me, for I'm on my journey